What's up, y'all? It's Dylan with OMG Rentals. I wanted to quickly just talk. I was talking with the client, and one of the most highest leverage things that you can do as a venue owner is tours. And I just wanted to break down how you can actually turn tours into signed contracts. Um, it seems very straightforward, very simple, but you would be kind of surprised. And so I just wanted to walk through this and talk about how we do it with our clients, and really just what's a good framework to use so that you guys know kind of how to do a walkthrough. Let's get into it. So most tours do not convert. If you're a venue, you want to be shooting around 30% conversion. So, you know, one out of every three people, one out of every four people, you want to be closing if they come to your venue. And the first 90 seconds is when they decide, are they going to book base, right? So that is why it is so important to, the rule of reciprocity, smile, shake their hand, like look them in the eyes, just be a good, like, just have good energy around you. Be genuinely interested in what they're doing, ask questions about them and what they're looking for. Because it goes two ways. On one hand, you're qualifying them to make sure they're a good fit for your venue, but on the second hand, you're also trying to get them engaged and get them excited, right? Like they're having an event, they're spending thousands of dollars, like you know, pump some life into them. They probably just fought some traffic. You never know what one situation is when they're coming in, so you always want to be a positive light and get them moving, get them excited about the space and what you have to offer. So yeah, so couples are going to decide within the first 90 seconds of whether or not it feels right. So bring good in. Keep in mind too that most people are going to tour 3 to 5 places. So you're not the only stop on, on the road if they're touring venues. And so make sure that you're conveying clarity and trust. Be communicative. Follow up with them and just try to have a showstopper of a tour. And that's why decorating your place is so important prior to a tour. So really, the number one reason that people ghost, if you're having that issue, is because you don't have a clear step of like what's next. How do we book the space, right? You don't send them a payment link. You don't, right? So these are things that are super important just to keep in mind of why you're not but the tour's not the finish line, guys, right? For most places, it's actually just where bookings go to die. So the tour is the start of a relationship. Super important because you don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste people's. You want to pre-qualify people. So have a checklist. We have a DM script to get people to communicate and then really just transparently just show our prices, right? So it's on the inquiry form. It saves everyone's, we have their budget range confirmed, the guest count, like the type of the preferred dates that they're going for. Is the decision maker going to be on the tour? Like if it's a wedding, are the parent, right? The golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules. So um, we also want to send a welcome packet that just goes into the hospitality feature, right? And so once you've confirmed, start asking about their vision, the guest count, style, what are they trying? It really allows you to customize your tour and show exactly what matters to them. So when we do tours, if we're doing proposals, we have a welcome packet specifically for proposals that shows social proof around rooftop proposals. Very different than birthday parties or anything like that, right? So we have different marketing materials for different event types. And that's number three here, send a preview. I love sending videos, right? A quick video of myself being like, hey, super excited for you to come on tour. It just your response rate will jump. Not only that, but people want to see the space, right? Like they don't want to waste their time. So if you send a video, one, you're going to get a response, say hello, show your face, right? And then two, they can immediately from there see the space, see if they like. Yeah, it's such a. And then lastly, once you've gotten the tour booked, just set the expectations, right? So we always say, hey, tours takes about 45 minutes. We're going to walk the space, sit down, review pricing, and I'll answer any and all of the questions you might have. So um, just set the expectations. And this is one that a lot of people miss too. But you want to make it an experience, right? Show, don't tell. If you have a projector, turn the projector on, show a presentation, right? If you have speakers, don't just tell them that you have surround sound. Play ambient music, right? Like let them feel it, let them see it, let them smell it, let them touch it. So you want to make it a physical experience, and you want them to see and smell and do all of the things, right? So if you have a charcuterie board out, right? Just you want to be a good example of this is when we do rooftop proposals here. One of the things we do is every single guest that walks in for that proposal, we hand them a glass of champagne on their arrival. Right? It just sets the tone, and it lets them know that hey, we're here to serve you. You're gonna have an amazing time. If you need anything, reach out to me. And it just really just offer, and so these are super important. Just you want to show, and it's really going to set you above and beyond all your competitors too. Next, when you're doing the walkthrough, you want to lead with the wow. I always say this when people are asking me what's the best way to find an event space. I tell them they need to look for a wow feature. You need something that stands out that makes for me, we have rooftop venue, so it's great for proposals, micro weddings, etc. Uh, we always lead with how they walk in, they know what they're going for, they know, and again, it relates to the first slide. First 90 seconds, they're going to make a decision. So that first impression is everything, and that's why you want to start with this. And then you just want to walk the guest journey, right? Show them, again, show, don't tell. Be like, oh yeah, you can put drinks here, and you show them the flow of the event and how it would, so that they feel like they're a guest walking around, and they can start visualizing your space for their event, right? And you want to just tell stories. Don't just give them specs of like how big this. You just really want to dig into those emotional words, like, oh, could you imagine the pictures you're going to have at sunset for your proposal? Like golden hour here is beautiful. The dark orange hues, you just can't beat it, right? You just really want to lean into those stories and show them the pictures, right? Like show them experiences and social, and you really want them to imagine it. And now, most importantly, I love doing this, but give them space, right? You want to step away. You don't want to be there the whole time. You want to give them 2-3 minutes, just talk privately, right? Just once you've gone through the whole walkthrough, and you have these emotional anchors for them, and they're picturing the space, and they're excited about it. Just be like, hey, I want you to, I don't want you to feel any pressure. I'm gonna walk outside for just a moment. Like, take your time. I'll be back in like, and I just want you guys to talk through this, and just sit in the space and let me know if this is time. That shows a lot, and that actually is something that most, and again, it will help you just stand out because it gives them that trust factor, and they just feel secure with you. They feel like, wow, like that's, very genuine. You're not a secondhand car dealership sale. Cool. And like finally, you'd be surprised how many people I've had to actually tell this, but closing the tour. It is super important to ask for the sale, right? Like you have to ask for the sale. Sit down at the table, walk them through your pricing, through your banquet, right? Like walk them, and then just send them the offer. Be like, hey, however you want to go through your sale, if it's a sell, which is one of the more complicated, the ones we really like, very simple to start out with, is just having 3-tier packages, right? A minimum package, it's kind of like McDonald's, small, medium, large, and you can gain trust here. You can be like, oh, well, I don't think you need that one, right? Like that one goes above and beyond. You have valet, you have X, Y, and Z, catering in-house, decor, everything. I honestly, it might be just a little too much. Like I just think you get value with this package, and doing that, you're gonna. So yeah, easy sale. Like it's an easy walkthrough and an easy pitch for most people who might not be as, who might not have as much experience. So that's give them an offer. Be like, hey, and what we do is we typically do, like, we'll hold a deposit. Be like, I can't hold the date until, on hand. We typically book out X meets. I definitely recommend. I was actually surprised that the date's still available. I totally recommend, you know, um, try to have like a 48, 78 poll. Uh, you want to have some deadline and you want to be clear in the next steps. Things don't just, you don't have to follow up, right? And what you don't want to do, on the other hand, is, yeah, just let us know. Take your time, no rush. I'll email you, and then a day or two later, you send them pricing and you send them the quote. You want to have them. You want to have the payment link in their hands right then, right there. You want to be able to, guide. And there's ways you can do this where it's not salesy and it doesn't feel sleazy, right? You can have a 7-day refund. Be like, oh yeah, if it's a wrong fit, we have a 7-day wrong fit refund. Put the payment down today, you'll secure your spot. But if in the next week you find something better or something just doesn't line up, no worries, right? We refund, and that gives you peace of mind, and that allows us to just lock in your date and get moving towards the next steps. So yeah, I can't stress this enough. And just be prepared, right? Walk them through the next steps. Now, if you don't close on the tour, if uh, you just need some follow-up sequences. Number one, uh, send them, say something specific about their visit. Be like, I loved how you were picturing this for your mom. I loved how you're doing this, XYZ, something personal that they said. Right, send them a thank you note. Then I have this a little bit, I do actually, day two here means day one, like the next day, so 24 hours later. Just value reinforcement, share proof. Be like, hey, here's an example of a wedding we had. Here's an example of a proposal that went really well. Here's a video, right? Same thing with days two, like 48 hours after. You want a testimonial, video testimonials are them. And then I really just kind of have the longest I'll go is a 2-week touch base, but I'll do 24 hours. I'll do the same day, 24 hours later, 48 hours later, and then we have a 5, 7, and 14. So, any questions that you might have, happy to hop. Just low pressure, and then you put them onto a long-term nurture where you're just sending them email updates, because someone doesn't have an event with you, even if it's a wedding, just because they don't have a wedding with you at your space today doesn't mean that down the line they won't think of your space full. And that too is keeping a database of your customers. If someone raises their hand and shows up on a tour, they're interested in your space, they're interested in your services. So just be a human and just keep them in touch, and just, you never know, a client like if someone turns into a client down the road. As we're wrapping up here, I wanted to walk through 7 reasons people are tours, and they go in order of importance. So 1 is because you guys don't have clear next steps. You leave things open-ended. No one knows what to do. They don't know, like, the payment link. They don't have, okay, well, once I pay, like, what happens next, right? 2, the emotional high fades. When they're on a tour, is that is the point of greatest need. That is the point of, like, as soon as they walk away from it, and this is true with just event spaces in general, right? Pictures don't do it justice. It never will. No matter how many pictures you have, it just won't do it justice. And so when they walk away from your space, they'll lose the the sight and the understanding of what your space is and why it's right. And so that's why it's so important to close within the first 72 hours. Um, Now moving just down the line, week follow, uh, they follow ups. I definitely agree but after that, 2 hours. After that, long term nurture is great. Just um, and then price shock, they were just unclear. They didn't know the options that they had. Your website doesn't match. Maybe you have conflicting information on a website offers. No urgency. You don't put a timeline. You don't want to just have forever follow-ups happening. It's going to drag on. And lastly, it's just the wrong leads, which goes into the pre-qualification we talked about. You want to make sure that your offers are clear from the get-go, so that you're not wasting people's time and you're not wasting your own time. Cool. So your tour playbook. So before, you want to pre-qualify, you want to get a guest count, send them a package, and just set the expectations. During, lead with the wow, hit the five senses, tell the stories, paint their picture, give them the space, right? Close. You sit them down, you review your pricing, you have a soft hold on their date, get clear next steps, and you ask for the sale. Lastly, after, you want to have a same day thank you, and then sequence here that can push people over into actual clients and actual sales. Again, guys, couples don't ghost because they said no. They ghost because no one guided them to say yes. I hope this is helpful. This PDF, just comment playbook below, and I'll shoot it to you.